If you want to earn real passive income with DeFi, stay tuned. I'm going to talk about CetoSwap. You can get up to 300% APR on the Cedo liquidity pools. So this is no Ponzi-nomics. It is providing a service, liquidity, which we'll talk about here in a minute. First off, CetoSwap is created by the team from EMP. So AJ, who you know is a good friend. And I love that AJ, through the bear market, everything else, all these other DeFi projects were falling apart. But AJ and the EMP team just kept building. They kept trying. They didn't blame market conditions. They just kept going. And it's also Jake from DexFi. So another team I've had on the channel. Again, same ethos of just keep building. First, DeFi has kind of gotten a bad name over the years. What's happened is traditional DeFi is what CetoSwap is doing, liquidity pools, where people are wanting to swap one token for another. They need liquidity in order to make that swap. And so if you provide liquidity, you get a small fee when they make that swap. Okay, that's not Ponzi-nomics. That is a business. You're providing a service. They are paying you for that service. Somehow, over the years, DeFi went away from an actual business providing liquidity, and it turned into, hey, make 1% a day, doing absolutely nothing, providing no service to anyone, anywhere. So what I want to do with people like AJ and Jake from DexFi, I want to reclaim DeFi for what it really is. So you might have heard the phrase yield farming. What yield farming is providing liquidity. So when you want to provide liquidity, let's say people want to swap between what's two good tokens that we know. Let's say USDT and BNB on the Binance Smart Chain. So in order to provide liquidity, you have to create what's called a liquidity pool token. And this token, instead of BNB over here and USDT over here, this liquidity pool token is going to be BNB and USDT put together. Then when they want to swap from BNB to USDT, they can use the liquidity pool tokens to make that happen. And then again, in return for that, whoever provided the liquidity gets a small fee. When you make a swap on any exchange, you have to pay a little fee. It's annoying sometimes, but that goes in large part to whoever's providing the liquidity. So yield farming is traditional DeFi, no Ponzi-nomics. You're providing an actual service, and it's really a great way. It's a great place to put your money at work for you, getting a yield in return. So if you go to CetoSwap and you go to the farms, you can see the different liquidity pools that they offer. So this is US Dex Plus, which is a stable coin from the Dex team with USDC. So these tokens are half US Dex Plus and half USDC smushed together into a liquidity pool token. And in return for you providing that liquidity, they pay out an APR. So for this one, it's 33% APR. So this works out to about 0.1% per day. Then you come over to this one and it is Cedo, which is the token for CetoSwap, and it's combined with US Dex Plus. But you see, this one offers a 289% APR. So these APRs fluctuate based on how much demand there is for the token and how many people are providing liquidity. So for something like US Dex Plus and USDC, this is actually pretty low risk because it's stablecoin with stablecoin. So there's a lot of people willing to provide liquidity on that because it's not very risky. So your APR is relatively low. Now, something like Cedo with US Dex Plus, Cedo is not a stable coin. So Cedo can go up, Cedo can go down. So if you have Cedo and it's part of your liquidity pool token and the price of Cedo goes down, you're going to lose some money. So there's risk involved with it. So in return for that risk, they give you a much higher APR. So 290% APR. So it's up to you to kind of weigh, well, what's your risk appetite? Is this money that I can't afford to lose, or is this play money? If it's money that you really, really don't want to lose, you might want to try a pretty stable pair with a lower APR. But if it's just play money, it's your risk, your degen money, then yeah, go in at this 290%. It's almost 1% a day. There's a lot of risk, but there's a lot more room for upside as well. CetoSwap has these farms. They also have these vaults, which were created by Dex Finance. The biggest difference between the vaults and the farms is that the vaults auto compound. So instead of an APR, which is your return, you're going to get an APY, which is your return after compounding. So for example, this Cedo with wrapped ETH is getting 304% APR. But when you go to the vault, you can see it's getting 593% APY. That's because if you compound, your returns can go way up. So I also like when you click open vault, you can actually zap in your funds. What that means is when you're doing yield farming, you actually have to create the liquidity pool token yourself, which is not very difficult. You just have to make sure you have an equal amount of the one token and an equal amount of the other token, and then you just add liquidity here, smush them together, you get liquidity pool tokens. But in the vaults, you can zap in, where if you just have some Ethereum, this one's on the Manta network, then you can zap it in and it will automatically create all the tokens for you, and it will auto compound you. So you can just sit back and leave it and watch the money come in. So they also have what are called Cedo 404, and 404 gives me PTSD as a web developer because that's an error. That's when the page can't be found on the internet. But these are NFTs that are designed to give you extra rewards than just the farms or the vaults. So in order to receive one of these 404 NFTs, you actually have to burn your Cedo tokens. So burn means get rid of them. So they're doing this as a way to keep the price of Cedo up high. Because what happens with a lot of yield farms is as you provide liquidity, they pay you out not in a stable coin or something like that. They pay you out in their native token. So they're paying you out in Cedo tokens. And what can happen is as more and more people provide liquidity, if there isn't demand on the Cedo token, it could crash. So then the APRs on the farming page will go way down because the Cedo tokens you're receiving are not worth very much. So what this team has done to try and prevent that is they've created these NFTs. So if you burn your Cedo tokens, rather than selling them, which makes the price go down, you burn them, which keeps the price up high, then you get these 404 NFTs. So you burn your Cedo tokens, you get a 404 NFT, and they have different categories. So you can get one for 404 reflections, swap fees, bridge fees, vault fees, perpetual trading fees. So you can get an NFT for these are the different revenue streams that CetoSwap has, and you can get an NFT based on which category you would like to get rewards from. So these NFTs end up becoming just a revenue generator for you. And then if you get all 6, so each of these NFTs are represented by a different sea creature. So you gotta love the theming. AJ does a great job with theming things. But if you mint one of each of the 6 different NFTs, 404 NFTs, you get the ultra rare goddess Cedo NFT, which will get more return. So you have the Cedo 404 NFTs. That's one way you can make money. CetoSwap is actually a decentralized exchange, so you can use it to swap from one currency to another. You can put your money in the liquidity pools and get an APR from there. You can use Cedo Bridge to get assets in and out of the Manta network. You have the vaults where you can put money in to let it auto compound, and again you can zap in. And then they have their NFT marketplace. So you can see they already have some of the 404s here, but just like on other NFT marketplaces, you can make an offer on it, you can buy it. So for example, Fishman 1265, this is a swap fees NFT. And then with NFTs, there's rarity. So he has the trench coat, which is very rare, and he's pink, which is about half of them. So not as rare. So that's what I have for CetoSwap. If you want to make money in DeFi, use traditional yield farming. It's the most tried and proven way of making passive income in the crypto space. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe. Appreciate you guys. Hope you have a great rest of your day.